What's going on, Beamer fans? Welcome back to Beamer View. For today's video, we're going to be going over the top 5 voice commands that I use on a daily basis. If this is your first time tuning into Beamer View, what we do here is teach you every single hidden tip trick feature in the book of BMWs. So if you are someone who owns a BMW or plan on getting one soon, do yourself a favor, subscribe to this channel because we're going to be putting out content every single week. Before we get started, we did want to mention some really cool BMW key fob covers along with some BMW floor mats. The links for these are going to be right down below, so definitely check those out at the end of the video. And without further ado, let's go ahead and go over the top 5 voice commands that you should be using on a daily basis. Oh, and I do apologize. I do have quite a nasal voice at the moment. I just got over a cold, so I do apologize in advance for that. Also, make sure you stay in tune for all these because I will promise you that one of these are going to be ones that you probably have never known before. That is going to be one that you may use every single day. So definitely stay tuned for the entire video. You may learn something new. I can almost guarantee it. So going through the basics, for all the newbies for BMWs, for all the new people who are going to be getting these vehicles, we do have our voice command button here. And again, as mentioned, probably for the 26th time on my channel, many people still get confused on the fact that there is 2 ways to use this guy. You click it one time, you get the BMW voice command, which pops up right there, or it's going to pop up on your heads-up display, whichever one you have. And if you hold it down, you're going to get Siri that pops up on the Apple CarPlay screen here, or if you have Android Auto, you're going to get your Google Assistant that pops up on here, which controls the phone. So again, the basics. Clicking it one time, you get your BMW voice command, which controls the features of the car. If you hold it, you get Siri or Google Assistant, which controls your phone or your Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, whatever you have on this screen here. And I will explain why that's very, very important to know. My number 1 command that I use on a daily basis that probably saves the most time out of all of these is going to be the fact that you can use Siri to make phone calls. So what a lot of new people most likely do is that they most likely go into their phone button there, and then once they go into that, they're gonna go into that and then look for their contacts, which is really time consuming. That's also dangerous to do because your eyes are gonna be off the road. So what you need to do is just hold this down, and then you're gonna get your Google Assistant or Siri to pop up on the screen here. And then once they pop up, all you have to do is just go ahead and say the command. You just say call so-and-so. Number 2 is going to be the GPS. Now, one of the biggest tricks you need to know about BMW GPSs is that there is a certain phrase you need to say if you want to use either Waze or Google Maps or Apple Maps. What you could do is you can hold down for Siri or just say the word. I'm not going to say it because then she'll pop up and then it'll mess up my microphone. But you can say the magic word, and then you can just say navigate to home using Google Maps. That is how you can activate Google Maps to do it. Same thing with Waze. You would say navigate to so-and-so using Waze, and then it'll use Waze or Apple Maps. But keep in mind, if you want to use your BMW maps, which are going to be these guys here, which is going to be this guy right over here, this is your BMW map, you can't use Siri, of course, to control that. You have to click on this one time or say hello so-and-so, and then you would say navigate to wherever you want to go. Keep in mind, for the BMW map that you have here, you can set up your home address. If you go into My Destinations, that's where you would go to set up your home address. I'm not going to go in there right now because then you guys are going to find out where I live and show up at my front door, and that I don't want. So yes, that is my second most popular voice command that I would do. And again, that one pertains to whichever voice command or feature you or whichever GPS you use the most. Again, just to repeat that, just like I always do, you use the BMW command to command the BMW maps. You use the Siri command or Google Assistant command to control your Apple Maps and Waze and Google Maps. But the trick is you have to say you have to say navigate to so-and-so using Google Maps. You have to say navigate to so-and-so using Waze. That is the trick with that. Next voice command, number 3. This one is going to be in terms of music. Now, this one will depend on whatever music you listen to, whichever music source you listen to, I should say. If you use Sirius a lot, you want to use your BMW voice command to do that. So depending on whichever music source you use the most is going to be dependent on whichever voice command you want to use. If, say, for example, you listen to Sirius a lot, you have your Sirius stations right here. You cannot use Siri or Google Assistant to control that. You, again, have to click that one time, get your BMW voice command to pop up, and then you can just say, play the blend on Sirius radio. And then that is how you can use your BMW voice command to get to a particular station that you like. If you listen to Spotify like I do a lot, the trick with that is you would use Siri or Google Assistant, which means you have to hold this down or say the command. And then once you do that, wait for the beep. And then you're going to be saying, play the hip hop playlist on Spotify. That is the command for that. Or if you are somebody who uses, say, for example, Apple Music, you could say, play so-and-so using Apple Music. So that is also how you can use voice command to control those two different things. Again, that was probably my number 3. Let's go over to number 4. Number 4 is going to be climate control. Again, this one I mentioned on the channel before, but this one is going to be leading up to that really secret one that I found out today, which will benefit you all as well. So we have our climate control functions here. You can see that I have my things off right now. I'm going to set it to auto, as most of us already do. But here we have our climate control settings. Now, for the most part, we're not going to be in that menu at all. If we're driving, we're going to have either our maps up or our music on, and we're not going to be in this climate control menu that you see here. So yes, most of the time we're not going to be in that screen. So what we need to do is we're going to be using the BMW voice command to set the temperature. So with this, you could just say, set the temperature to 70 degrees.
70 degrees Fahrenheit.
You can see that this changed the degree right there too. And that's how you could use the BMW voice command to do that. Also, one of the other ones that I forgot to mention for number 3 or 2, I believe. A lot of the times when I'm driving, I have Waze up a lot, probably all the time. So instead of me having to go dig through here to go look for Waze, what you could do is just say, hey, Siri, open Waze. And then if you do that, you're going to see Waze just pop up right on the screen. So then you don't have to go digging for it. So yeah, you just say, hey, so-and-so, open Waze. And then it'll open Waze as you're driving. That way you don't have to take your hands off the wheel to go look for Waze, which can be a really big headache. The same thing works with Spotify or what other music source you use. So definitely be using that as well. All right, the 5th one, which is our secret one that many of you have been waiting this whole time for, is going to be this one right here. So we get this complaint very, very often. So what happens is you can't use the BMW voice command to turn off the climate control completely, which is really, really annoying. Anytime you say for example, turn off climate control,
I will deactivate the air conditioning.
I just told the BMW voice command to turn off climate control, and you can see that the air is still blowing through. All that I really did was just turn off this guy right here. Now, I've tried many different commands to just completely deactivate this whole thing. What I'm trying to do is use the voice command to just deactivate the entire thing like that. But that I have yet to find a voice command that controls that. I've tried saying turn off climate control. It still turns off the AC function, so that doesn't do the trick. So this is going to be a good workaround for that, because I am somebody who likes to keep the climate control completely off, but I have yet to find a voice command for that. So here is a workaround that I've been using quite a bit, and I just found out about this past week. What you could do is you could go into this guy right here where it says auto. You can see that, and then you're going to see this screen pop up here. What I do in my manual AC control here is I just turn off the fan completely. So you can see that all climate functions are off. But now watch this. If I use my BMW voice command to say turn on auto, it's going to turn on the climate control, and then vice versa. So watch this. Turn on auto.
Automatic climate control activated everywhere.
So by me saying turn on auto, what I just did was just turn on the climate control back to where I liked it to be whenever I liked the function to be on in general. But now, if I want that to be off, again, you have to go into the manual mode first, make sure the fan's completely off, and then once you go back into auto, you want to set it like that. Now watch the command that I do right here to turn off my climate control. Again, the control that I'm trying to do is control this guy right here, the on and off switch that completely turns off the whole thing. What I did was I went into manual mode, I did set that to 0, and then I popped it back into auto just like that. Now I am in my standard climate control mode that I'm in all the time. Again, I found out that you do have to have the car running in order for this to work, so it's a little weird, but just make sure you turn on your car before you try this out. So now I'm just going to tell my BMW command to turn off auto, and then it's going to go into the manual mode. But then because the manual mode is already off, this is going to deactivate the whole thing. So watch this. Turn off auto.
Got it.
There you go. So I said turn off auto, and then now it switched to the manual mode. But again, the manual mode was set to 0. So now my climate control is basically off, which would have been the same thing I had if I just were to push on this guy here. But now if I want my air control to come back on again, I'm just going to say turn on auto. Turn on auto.
Automatic climate control activated everywhere.
So I just said turn on auto, and then now my climate control is back on again. So that was a cool little trick that I found out earlier this week. I think that you guys should probably try that out as well. I'm not sure if you're like me, who sometimes like to keep the air on, but then at times I just like to keep the whole thing off. Also, a huge thing for this one too, if you are in manual mode, there are a ton of people who like to keep their heated seat on and heated whatever on, but at the same time not keep the rest of the climate control functions on. If you're in manual mode, you can go and turn on your cooling seats or heated seats. Your cooling seats or heated seats are still going to be on. So this is going to be a good way to do that as well. And then you just say turn on auto, and then you're back to where you began from the beginning. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 commands that I use in my BMW on a daily basis. I think that you all should be using these 5 commands as well. Very, very useful. It'll make your BMW ownership journey that much more easy. If you all had any questions, write those down below. I am trying to play catch up again. I'm about probably 100 comments behind, but I will do my best to catch back up and get to your comment as soon as I can. Take care, have a great day. Make sure you all like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe. I will be putting out content every single week. And lastly, before you click off the video, check out the links right down below for the key fob covers and the BMW car mats. Take care, have a great day, and I will see you all for the next one.